To talk about the concerns and the road ahead, what we should do, what we should not do, I have with me, in fact, people from us, all walks of life. I have businessmen, I have students, I have a former ambassador as well, and I also have parents of NRIs. Going to Amit first. Is this a time when we stop saying that America is land of opportunity, and is this concern about safety rightly placed?
I don't think so, not at all. I would make three clear points. First, I would say that there's a saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. It's not just a saying. You have to intermingle and you have to work closely with the people where you live in. So you have to focus more on baseball, you have to focus on rugby. That's the kind of assimilation that should happen. And that we have to be very conscious. We can't be talking in Telugu in public places because people do not understand that. That's point number one. Second thing, it's not a new thing. It's always been there. I was there in 1998, and at 9:30 in the night I had a janitor bang me on the door and come and tell me, get out of my country. So that's exactly what this guy said even last week. And I was so shocked because as a 20-something you're worried about it, and you look at him and then he said, you are taking away our jobs and I have to do this menial stuff. And then you be careful. So that's nothing new. That's my second point. And third and last point is, I think linking everything and saying that it's become unsafe or opportunity is gone, Donald Trump is bringing all this. I think it's similar to what we saw when Modi got elected. So it's just jumping to too many conclusions right now. Just because he wanted to make America great again doesn't mean that the reverse is true. It doesn't mean that it's become unsafe. Things will settle down, and I'm sure the law enforcement agencies will support all legal immigrants.
Dr. Rajkumar, you head the NRI Parents Association, and as Amit was pointing out, these guidelines about don't speak in Telugu when you're in public, or maybe it's time to not keep talking about a kuchipudi or whatever your culture that you think you're carrying there. As a parent, what are your concerns and what would you tell youngsters there or even the government here?
Thank you. Since I am the president of Telangana NRI Association, and generally, the students, those who are going for higher education from Telangana and Andhra, they are all from rural background, and most of them are going for their PG and various other courses. See, while going to America, they have a wonderful aspirations and interests settling down over there and all, and they do not know what are the rules to be follow there.
So we need to train them before sending them there?
Definitely. The situation has become a very enlightenment to every child, whoever is going to America. See, since 1 month, 3 incidents have been taken place. It is very horrible situation nowadays in America that parents are more worried. See, parents are sending their children for higher education. More than that, it seems to be a threat to the life. So we don't need your education or your better quality of life, quality of education. Better you come back. We don't mind losing that money and all.
That's rather a drastic stand to take, isn't it? Sir, as someone who has been an ambassador in several countries, as someone who now heads the NRI cell of the Congress as well, what would you think should be the recommendations at this stage?
You see, this is a transit period immediately after Trump's election. One has to go back. During the elections, he said the same thing: America for Americans, buy American, hire American, and I will make American again great, as if the America was not great. But you know, the electioneering, any politician does the same thing. But unfortunately, immediately he said, I am implementing now, and issued the travel ban. So that should not be the case. Otherwise, any international relations, there is a process to follow it. Once you give the visa, green card, you can't stop them and detain in the airport. Now, there is anxiety among our people, not only our people, any immigrant. For example, the Mexicans, easy target. And higher jobs are occupied by the Indians. That is why the white collar jobs are lost. The people perception is so much, and then Trump was able to ignite whatever the inside pent up this hatred. So during the Trump, within the 3 months after the elections, the hate crime has increased 25 to 30%. But at this juncture,
is that a statistic? Because Amit was pointing out, it's always existed, that kind of thing. I mean, one is pointing fingers at the US. You are somebody who studied in the US and travels very often there. Is it time to also look inward? Amit was pointing to certain very, very important things that you need to do to appear more American and not so alien, perhaps, not appearing American as much as not appearing so alien.
The Indian population, especially the Indians who used to go abroad earlier as students, they used to always travel on an F1 visa. The people who are going in the last 20 years are mostly going on the H visa. There is a lot of difference in this, because when you go as a student, you start adapting into American culture, you start understanding, and you grow slowly. Suddenly what happens with the H1 population is you're not at all sensitized. You're sitting, you're huddling, you're speaking in your own language, you're behaving that suddenly within a few days or weeks of getting a job, you're owning a country. So that is something which also has to be understood here. Secondly, this regionalism, unfortunately, Andhra and Telangana, most of the engineers, most of the people who have gone from our states, Telugu people. They have done really well for the last 40, 50 years in every sphere. But whenever you see an election, whenever certain things are happening here, it is affecting them also. There is no sense of unity. We have to realize that we are Indians first and not get into these regional issues, which is also making you huddle up. So these are things which we have to understand. In America, they teach you something called as defensive driving. The first thing is it's about protecting yourself. So when we go there, let's talk about what we need to do and save ourselves and blend in, rather than creating agony to them when you know that you're in another country.
Rajkumari, you're yourself an advocate, but your son is in the US, another son is in New Zealand, and as a parent, the concerns that he was talking about, that come back, there's no need, there must be opportunity here. Is that what parents are saying? Because for everyone, obviously, it's a land of opportunity, and even in case of Srinivas Kuchibhotla, it was very sad. His family was telling us just 10 days ago, he bought a car for his dad, saying he must travel in comfort. All those things also come with the dollars that you earn.
First of all, my deepest condolences to the bereaved family of Kuchibhotla, who lost their dear son. And coming to the point, definitely there is a fear psychosis gripped in Indian families, mostly in NRI parents. Why? Because in the recent past we have seen 3-4 incidents. Maybe they are remote if you see in the ratio of the citizens who are there. But in the recent, when the Trump is into power, what happened, his main this thing is Americans, my own country. So this may trigger some kind of this thing, the fellows who are there, like that fellow who shot our Srinivas.
It's sending the wrong signals to some kind of people.
So to some extent, I can say it is not largely, but to some extent it is helping the people who are who have the hatred against Indians or some migrants. It is causing some disturbances, what I feel.
As students, you are also aspiring to go abroad and study. Is US a destination that you will be looking at even now? You were there as part of a US exchange program.
So, I was there just this last semester, and I was there till December, in fact. And it's surprising because I was really shocked when I heard about the Kansas shooting, because I was in Wisconsin, and everyone out there were nothing but amazing. And I never felt discriminated, beat on.
Despite the fact that you wear this.
Exactly, that's my point. I never felt discriminated either for my race or my religion or anything. But then it's surprising how within just a few months, with a change in presidency, how there's such a spike in hate crimes. And I think you can relate that to what happened in India after the 2014 elections with crimes against minorities. So
that of course may have a different viewpoint. You said you would choose to go to the UK and not to the US.
Right, because well, I wouldn't say I don't want to go to the United States, but then given the fact that a lot of my friends have told me stories wherein their relatives have been discriminated in terms of race or say hate crime, as she has just mentioned. But as a student, I strongly believe that all of us are global citizens, and today if we have opportunities abroad, it is up to us whether to take them or not. But when it comes to hate crime, everybody has to address the fact that there are two extremes, like how she just spoke. There are stories where all people from different communities have been given equal rights, equal responsibilities in higher positions and all of that. So I think this is also on the rise, and addressing only one side of the story is not really done, because we students would like to broaden our horizons and go abroad.
Why is it that you did not think that was the destination that you must choose?
Because India is, there are many opportunities in India even, after Modi government is. So we believe that contributing ourselves to India would be a better thing, going to abroad and contributing there instead.